Man, where all my peeps at today? There's one. What's happening, viewer? Happy Friday. Well, happy Good Friday. However you want to look at it. What's happening? So it's my Friday drive home. Easter weekend. I got a 2-day weekend this weekend. I won't be working Saturday. Unfortunately, nobody else is working, so you got to have 2 people in the building to work on Saturdays. And unfortunate enough for me, if I were to show up tomorrow, I'd be the only one here. So I won't be working tomorrow, that's for sure. But I get to sleep in. Yep. I'll probably sleep in till about, I don't know, 7 o'clock or so. That's about what time I generally get up on Saturdays. If I'm not working, of course. So everybody got the big plans for the weekend? No, tomorrow night I got a concert to go to. Go see a band called Silver Bullet. They do a Bob Seger tribute. I've seen them quite a few times. They're kind of local here to the St. Louis area. I've seen them a few times. They're actually pretty good. And then there's another band that's playing. They're going to be a Billy Joel tribute band. They're playing over at the Family Arena in St. Charles, which is a really cool facility. It's a smaller auditorium. I think it's only about a 10,000 seat capacity. And but the acoustics in that place are just phenomenal. I mean, for what it is. They only use half the arena anyway when they do the tribute shows or when any bands come. So it's usually a pretty good crowd. I mean, you know, in that condensed area anyway. But so Family Arena sends out these notifications every now and then. Like if somebody big's coming to town and it's on like a Friday or Saturday night, they hold a contest. And you sign up for like front row seats, and then they have runners up. So if you don't get the front row seats, you still get seats if you're within that extra, I think 20 sets of tickets or something like that. Of course, now those tickets are in the nosebleed section, but generally, if there's an opening band and there are empty seats anywhere, you can usually keep an eye, around the arena and see. And then after the first band plays, you can generally move to like better seats. So that you get more of a better feel for the crowd and stuff. I guess I don't like the nosebleed seats, but if that's the way I'm getting in the door, then so be it. But the acoustics in this place are really, really good. For concert, the sound guys at that place are pretty good at what they do. And like I said, I've seen this Silver Bullet band before. And for those of you just coming in, that's Silver Bullet's a Bob Seger tribute band. And then you have wow, lost everybody at once. That's interesting. A little car there. That's a Valiant. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'd love to be able to find another one of those. That's a 69 or 70 Plymouth Valiant. Anyway, I was admiring an old car. I had the camera turned around for a minute. It's a 1969 or 70 Plymouth Valiant. Yep. So anyway, like I was saying, I'm going to this show tomorrow night. I got the tickets for free, so I'm going to be making a stop today by the will call office at the Family Arena. Pick up these free tickets for this show. Of course, now, they lose a little bit of money on the tickets, but, like I say, this is a local tribute band. And they still charge $15 for parking, so, I mean, for any kind of concert for $15 is pretty good. Somebody want to comment? Do I have the comments on? Somebody want to comment and tell me? I don't know if I set this thing up for comments or not. Usually I get a notification telling me that my comments are on, but I'm not so sure they are today. So if somebody wants to let me know, that'd be awesome. So anyway, I got to go by the will call office at this arena today to pick up these tickets. So it's going to be a pretty busy day tomorrow. Like I said, I've got the day off, and I'm probably going to watch football. The Battlehawks, the St. Louis Battlehawks, which is the UFL team, which used to be the XFL, and there were two different leagues during the spring. There was the USFL, and then there was the XFL. And just a real quick recap, I know I've explained this before, but just a quick recap. Look at this guy, just ran the freaking red light. What a dumbass. But anyway, so the USFL and the XFL merged, and it's now called the Unified Football League, which is the UFL. Well, we have a team here in St. Louis area called the Battlehawks. They play tomorrow at 12. I think they're playing in Arlington, Texas, which is going to be a pretty early game for somebody that lives in Arlington. I think they're like an hour behind us, so it'll be, well, they may be 2 hours, I don't know, but it's going to be 10 or 11 o'clock in Arlington when it's noon here. Excuse me. That's what these things will do for you. But anyway, so I'm going to watch a football game tomorrow afternoon. And then I'll be picking my mom up, stepmom, at about probably 6 o'clock to go to this concert. It's supposed to be rainy tomorrow, so I won't be outside doing anything unless I decide to go out to my building, mess around with my bikes and stuff. Not bicycles, bikes, motorcycle bikes. I might go out there and mess around for a little bit. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do yet. But anyway, that'll be a pretty exciting weekend. Sunday I don't really have anything planned. I may break down to go to church since it's holiday, Easter Sunday. Easter Sunday is always really cool at church, but I don't know if I want to go or not. I'm not real fond of the Catholic Church right now. I have my own reasons for that. I'm not going to get into that because it's all political, and as I've said before, I don't get into political things on here. I don't talk about religion. I don't talk about the government or any of that because it's just too worrisome. Anyway, I'll turn this music down a little bit so I can hear myself think. Oh, so I'm on my way home. I got to stop by the family arena and pick up these tickets. And usually when I go, I have to get the handicap spots because my stepmom is she's a Desert Storm veteran, and she has some health issues. She got bad knees, and she doesn't get around as well as she used to. You know, when that happens when you get older. Her and my dad, you know, my dad just fell and broke his hip a few weeks ago. I'm trying to get him situated and back up on his feet, but you know, dads, they're stubborn. I guess he'll come around when he comes around. Anyway, so I'm just waiting for that to happen. But my stepmom is my concert buddy, and Dee, my girlfriend, she doesn't necessarily like a lot of the stuff that I like. It's like she doesn't like Bob Seger and Zeppelin, and she doesn't like Pink Floyd, you know, bands like that I listen to on a pretty frequent basis. And she chooses not to go with me to those kinds of shows, but like she's gone with me to see Queensryche and Godsmack and Judas Priest and a few of the other bands that I've gotten free tickets for over the last years. I've probably seen, I don't know, 12 or 15 concerts at that place. They've all been free. So, you know, $15 for parking and the concert's free. That's a pretty good deal if you ask me. And it doesn't matter how many heads are in the car. It's just $15 per car, which is pretty good. Anyway, so I had a pretty good turnout yesterday. There was a bunch of people that were commenting and talking to me a little bit yesterday. I had a couple of people from over in Europe talk to me. There was a guy from up around the Michigan area, and I like it when people are a little chatty with me. It gives me something to talk about, answering questions or commenting on their comments. A little rainy today, a little overcast. Temperature's nice though. It's like, I don't know, 58, 60 degrees, something like that. As you can see again, I'm in a t-shirt. I like wearing t-shirts to work. Let's see if I can turn this. Anyway, I was trying to turn the air up. It's a little warm in my car today. There's somebody over here, dummy! Jesus Christ! Use your eyes. That's what they're made for. Some fucking people, I swear, just try to come right over my lane like you own the place. Stupidity. It's probably stoned. I don't know. He might be. So in our state, we have the recreational use, but people aren't smart enough to smoke their pot and stay at home. They want to go out and fucking drive around. It pisses me off. But I'm not going to get into that. Anyway, I just had somebody try and come in my lane. I hate it when people do that shit. Don't even look. They just turn the turn signal on and come on over. I was already halfway up the side of his car, though, so I'm guessing maybe I was in his blind spot. I don't know. Y'all excuse me a second. I got this drink called Zevia. This is a ginger root beer drink. It's pretty good. I taste more of the root beer than I do the ginger, but it's got just a tad bit of a bite to it. And that's just the ginger part, you know, but it doesn't have an aftertaste or anything. Sugar-free, but they use stevia sweetener instead of the high fructose corn syrup or whatever it is, or sugar. And this is all natural stuff. We get this stuff right here at a place called Whole Foods, or is that right? Whole Foods? I think so. Anyway, it's a store that carries mostly organic foods and stuff that's supposed to be healthy and good for you. I guess I could use healthy and good. You know, I'm an older fella, as you can probably tell. So I like to eat healthy, and I don't exercise or anything like that. I guess I should, but I don't. I walk around all day at work, my job, so I don't do a lot of walking after I get off work. I usually get about, I don't know, 10 to 12,000 steps a day usually, which is pretty good. But it'll be a pretty enjoyable weekend, relaxing. That's what I did on my birthday, Wednesday. I just did a lot of relaxing and kind of took it easy. And of course, I watch more football. I don't watch the NFL. So during the winter time, the fall months and winter time, I don't watch that at all anymore. I used to. I was a real huge Green Bay Packers fan years ago. But the NFL just became woke, and I don't like that mentality, and I don't like the narrative. So, and that's all I got to say about that. Anyway, so I got one viewer out there. Hey viewer, can you like my page, or let me know who you are, or ask a question, or tell me whether or not my sound okay, or let me know if my chat's on. Can you send a message and comment or something? Anything? No? Okay. That's alright. I guess it's somebody just wanting to look. Well, that happens from time to time. I get people on here that, you know, they just come and look for a minute and then they're gone. But I've been doing pretty good with these live videos. Like I said yesterday, I had a pretty big crowd. I had a couple of people. I had one girl from Scotland, and I had a couple other people that were, I think there was one up in Canada. Thank you for that like, I appreciate that. One from Canada, one from up around the Michigan area. I don't know, I probably had a grand total of maybe 15 or 16 people that stopped in yesterday, which was pretty nice. Considered I only do this for like a half hour a day, or at least the times that I do videos, I'm only on for about a half hour. I got my reasons for that, but you know, I don't, you know, it's like I get at a loss for words if I'm on too long. I did a really long video a few weeks ago. I was on a trip to North Carolina, and I did about a 2.5 hour video, and I found myself kind of stumbling, you know, to find things to talk about, because I wasn't getting any engagement at all, any responses, or nobody was talking to me. So it was kind of weird, you know, talking to myself that long. Even though I had people come checking me out, it was still kind of weird. But anyway, I'm getting ready to cross the river here. I'm going to be crossing the Missouri River. I'll turn it around the other way so you guys can see the bridge. It's a pretty cool bridge. It's not a suspension bridge, but it's got a lot of metal and stuff on it, you know. There's two ways I can go home. I either take Interstate 70 going east, or I take 364, which is around this area. We call it Page Extension. And I head east from work. I work in Fallon. I live over near St. Louis. So it's about a 25-minute drive or something like that. I'm going to turn this camera around so you guys can see as I go across the bridge. It's a pretty cool bridge. To adjust this a little bit. There we go. Like that. Alright, here we go. You ready? Alright, I'm ready. There we go. We'll turn it around. You guys can see the bridge. So this is the way I drive home every day. And this is the Missouri River. And I'm crossing over from St. Charles County to St. Louis County. I don't know how many of you know this area, but St. Charles is west of St. Louis, and then you've got a county in between, St. Louis County. And St. Louis County is its own entity, and St. Louis City is its own. It's two different places, and you know, St. Louis is kind of independent to St. Louis County. Well, they got this new mayor over there who's a big fat giant piece of crap as far as I'm concerned, but that's neither here nor there. What they're wanting to do, what they call Better Together. They wanted to combine the city and the county, and the reason they want to do that is because the crime rate in St. Louis City is so bad that their murder rate and crime rate per capita is off the charts. So what they want to do is they want to incorporate St. Louis County and make it part of the city, and so that their number of murders and their crime rate per capita will drop tremendously, because St. Louis has become a place that you don't want to go, you don't want to visit, because of the crime rate. It's so dangerous there anymore. It's somewhere you definitely have to keep your head on a swivel these days, for sure. So That's what they want to do anyway. They want to make the city and the county all one big municipality. Did I take the wrong exit? No, I took the right one. Oh, I did take the wrong exit, didn't I? Oh shit, I missed my exit. I'm about to go back around. Oh, I gotta go back the other way. I missed Arena Parkway. Here I am, running my mouth, just, talking up a storm, and I missed my exit to get off to go to the family arena to pick up these tickets. So now I gotta turn around and go back. Damn it. Hate it when that happens. Oh well. Anyway. Oh man, don't tell me I gotta go all the way around. I can't just make a U-turn. Nope, I can't make a U-turn. Damn it. Wait a minute, maybe I can. Yeah, that's what I'll do. That's what it helps to have a truck, because you can do things like this. Yep. That's one way to kill a cat. I wouldn't kill a cat, that's just an expression. But yeah, I got to go back across the bridge. I forgot that the family arena's in St. Charles County, not St. Louis County, so I got to go back. But yeah, so maybe I'll turn the camera around again. You guys can see the bridge going the other way. It's kind of silly of me to do that. I know this area really well. I've been out here for, let's see, I moved here in 2010. In April of 2010, I moved here. As a matter of fact, about, let's see, what's today? The 18th? Today's the 18th, is that right? Yes, today's the 18th, so in 8 more days, I will have been in St. Louis County, or St. Anne, where I live, for 16 years now. I've been here, so I've been driving around this area for 16 years. I should know it pretty good by now, but we all have our moments, our blonde moments. Anyway, all right, I'm getting ready to turn this camera around again. Okay, so you guys can see it going the other way. There we go. You'll see I'm crossing the Missouri River Bridge again, headed back west instead of east. I have to go east to go home, but Arena Parkway and the arena are this way, so you get to see a little extra stuff for nothing. There we go. Yeah. I wonder why nobody's, hey viewer, who are you? Are you subscribed to my channel? Yes, no, maybe. I got a goal, 500 subscribers, and I'm at 495. Actually, I've got 485 videos, and I've got 495 subscribers to my channel, which is pretty good. I never thought that it would get that big, but my goal is 500. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do, because that would really help me. Like I said before, and I'll say it again, I'm not in this for monetary reasons. I can give a shit less about all that stuff, but I am in it for just being able to share things with people, and it's pretty exciting when I get on here and see that people are commenting on my videos and how many people have viewed and things like that. So that's why I do it. Plus, it gives me something to do besides twiddle my thumbs on the steering wheel going home. I can ride down the road and kind of talk to people and stuff like that. So it's pretty neat. I like the YouTube platform. I don't really care for the censorship. They do censor quite a bit, especially if you get into political things or narratives, or if you're talking about something that they don't like, religion and politics, and if you're not in line with what they believe, then unfortunately, a lot of times they cut you out completely, or give you warnings, or put you on restriction, stuff like that. So, but I try not to, like I said, I try not to talk about those things too much, because it's more of a problem for me, because I'm a free speech kind of guy, and I believe in our Constitution, and I believe that we should be able to express our opinions freely. And unfortunate enough for a lot of people, they're kind of stuck in a place where they're not allowed to do that on these platforms. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to park right here, and I'm going to go in here and get these tickets. You guys hang out here for a minute. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you where I'm at Family Arena here in St. Charles, Missouri. There we go. All right, so I'll be right back. You guys hang out, and I'll see you in a few minutes. All right. Whew. I love concerts, especially when they're free. So anyway, this is a Bob Seger tribute band called Silver Bullet. And then there's a band called Sometimes a Fantasy. They do a Billy Joel tribute. That's pretty cool, huh? And as I say, these are free. They're general admission tickets, so we'll have to get here kind of early, I guess. It starts at 7 tomorrow. So I'll be headed over this way about 6. But it's a really cool concept they got over here. So they give you free tickets for these shows. The reason this one's free is because it's a local band that's from the St. Louis area that's putting on this show. And so what they do is they put out an email to people that are on their email list and say, hey, look, we got free tickets for such and such show. If you guys are interested or whatever, you can get up to 4 tickets. Of course, for a show like that, I always get 4 tickets. Now anybody that, they would generally charge money for, like, Judas Priest or Australian Pink Floyd or, one of these country artists. I think, what was that guy's name? I saw here, I can't remember. I can never, Jake Allen, Jake something or other, Jake. Anyway, he's a country artist. There was 3 bands here. And Jake Owen, that's his name, Jake Owen. I came here to see him. I'm not really a big country music fan, but The modern country has a little bit of a hint of rock and roll to it, so it was pretty good. And then there was a guy that opened up for him, and I'm not even going to try and remember his name, but he was really good guitar-wise. And then there was a McKenzie, something McKenzie. It's a lady. She was here. That was like her first tour ever. So she was pretty decent. I liked her stuff. But anyway, I'm going home a different way. So I started out on 364, which is the way I usually go. And you guys have already seen the Missouri River Bridge twice on 364. So I'm going to go across the east from St. Charles County area. So it ought to be a little different. Hopefully it won't be too busy a day. But I don't know, being in Friday that it might be. I don't really like driving 70 going east in the afternoons because there's a bunch of idiots on the road. And but the thing is that when I go to work, I'm usually driving against the traffic. I'm not driving with the traffic because in the mornings, everybody out west is headed east into the St. Louis area to go to work. St. Louis County, St. Louis, and then some of them are probably even driving over to Illinois. Illinois is only a hop, skip, and a jump from where I'm at. And so in the morning, I'm headed west. So it's much lighter traffic. The only thing that's really out west is where people work from this area is the GM plant, which is over in Wentzville, Missouri. And I get a lot of I ride a lot with the GM plant employees in the mornings, and you can always tell who they are because they're freaking flying like a bat out of hell, because they don't know how to get up 10 or 15 minutes early and leave their house that much earlier to get to work on time. They wait till the last minute, and then they want to play Mario Andretti to get there. But anyway, I usually leave my house around like 5:20 in the morning, and I usually get to work around 5:45 or so, and then I sit in the parking lot for 10 minutes, and then I go in and clock in and get my day started anyway. All right, so you've already seen the 364 bridge. I don't really know the name of it. Well, this is the Blanchette Bridge. Here you go. This is a pretty cool bridge too. They just did a bunch of work on this thing a few years ago. They repainted. They did a lot of steel cleanup on this bridge, and there was construction going on this thing for about 6 months. And they did a really good job with it. The westbound side, they tore the old bridge down and rebuilt a new bridge. But I guess it was in pretty bad shape, so they had to rebuild the old bridge. So what they did is they imploded it and just let it fall down in the river. I guess they just left it there. I don't know if they actually took the time to clean it up or not. I know they were out there an awfully long time. But so this goes, I'm going 70 east right now, and this goes the whole length of the state from where you come in from Illinois all the way to let's see, I guess Kansas, right on the other side of Kansas City would be Kansas, right? I'm geographically challenged when it comes to, I've never really been any further west or driven any further west than Kansas City, Missouri. I've gone out there to see some hockey games. I'm a huge hockey fan, so but every once in a while we get a group of us together and we take a trip out west, or to the hockey arena to see the Well, they used to be called the Missouri Mavericks. I think now they're called the Kansas City Mavericks. That's minor league hockey. And of course, we have the St. Louis Blues. And then I've gone up to Peoria, Illinois to see the Peoria Rivermen play. And I've been over to Edwardsville, Indiana to see the Thunderbolts. They used to have a team there called the Icemen. But the Icemen, I guess their owners moved, but they weren't making enough money, and they switched leagues. They were, I think they were Southern Professional Hockey League, and then they went to the AHL, which is the American Hockey League. And then I've been down south to Tulsa, Oklahoma, to see the Tulsa Oilers play. So I've done quite a bit of traveling for hockey games. Now, I've never been to any of the big-time arenas, outside of the state. I have gone to quite a few of the Blues games. I was a season ticket holder back in 2012 and 2013. But, man, it's just gotten so costly anymore to go see hockey that I don't really go that much anymore. Plus, with St. Louis being one of the most dangerous cities in the United States now, it's just better to stay the hell away from St. Louis if you can help it. Now, that being said, I did buy season tickets for the St. Louis Battlehawks football team. And there's a couple of night games, but for the most part, with the crowds as big as they are and everything, I don't really think I'll have any problems during the day. But most of the hockey games are at night, so I don't like being in the city of St. Louis at night at all. Excuse me, I had to wet my whistle. Okay, that's good. Anyway. I got 4 viewers again. I've noticed my viewership goes up and down. I think the most I've had on here today is 6. But man, yesterday we had like a small party going on. I had people asking me questions and talking to me and all kinds of stuff yesterday. I don't know if the chat's on or not, but if you guys want to comment anything or share my video or like my video, that's fine. You can do that too. Yep, looks like everybody dropped out on me again. I guess I'm just boring, maybe. Oh, I got one person back. I don't know if it's the same person or not there. Watch it. What's really funny is that by the time I get home, like as soon as I pull in my driveway, I usually get like 8 or 10 people on here all at the same time. But, and then I got to turn right around and turn this thing off, so it's pretty funny. Yeah. Anyway, so this is kind of the area I live in between a little town called St. Ann, Missouri, and Bridgeton. And it's a pretty happening little place. I mean, if you're a resident, all the places to go to like eat and stuff. It's pretty happening. It has grown quite a bit the last couple of years. But we did lose our Walmart in St. Ann. I guess they couldn't afford to stay open or whatever. And they moved down to Bridgeton. Bridgeton's become more populated, actually overpopulated, I would say in the last 5 or 6 years. Because that's where most of the growth is happening, business-wise and things like that. St. Ann is a little small municipality. It's one of those places, that the city's only like 5 miles. You go like from Interstate 170, which goes it goes north and south, That's one of the main drags, you know, like going into St. Louis or whatever. But and then you go up to 270. It's 170 is kind of like one of those inner loop. One of them's an inner loop and one of them's an outer loop. I believe the 270 is the outer loop, and then 170 is the inner loop, or something like that. But anyway, so but there's like a 5-mile stretch between what they call Breckenridge Hills and Bridgeton is kind of where the limits are for St. Anne, which is where I live. And it's a pretty nice little place. I fortunate enough for me, I bought a house that was in a pretty decent neighborhood. Most of the people around me are old. On one side of me, I've got an old man he's probably 82 to 85, and he was married, but his wife died, you know, a few years ago. She had dementia and all kinds. I think she had Parkinson's disease, but she passed away a few years ago. And then on the other side of me, there's an older couple that their son lives with them, and they're in their 90s, I think. But they've been there. I think they've owned the house since it was brand new. My house was built in 1949, and it's been updated and, you know, modernized a few times over the years. But it's, you know, it's still kind of a small house. But the reason I bought it is because, you know, at the point that I, you know, bought that house, I was like, man, you know, I sure would like to have a place of my own. So I got to looking around, and it was probably like the 4th or 5th house I looked at, and it had a finished basement, which I liked. It had a building, which I liked because I had, you know, I wanted to get a motorcycle. And then it also, the yard was really cool. And I said finished basement, right? Yeah. And then the front yard, the grass was really nice. So that was another reason I bought the house, was because of the front yard. Now, of course, I've been in this house for 13 years, I think. Yeah, I've been in this house 13 years, so I've kind of outgrown it. You know, it's amazing how much junk you can accumulate, you know, not thinking about the space that you live in, how quick it's going to fill up. Now, I'm not a hoarder by any means, but, you know, I bought a lot of, like, sports memorabilia and shit like that I really didn't need. But you only live once, and, of course, I bought a lot of that stuff just because I had the money and because I could. When I was married, I lived in Charlotte, and it was I never really lived anywhere longer than a couple of years, and that's a whole other story I'm not going to get into today. But you know, I've stayed put in one area for, you know, 13 years now, and when you're in a place that long, the stuff that you collect over the years kind of accumulates. So, like, you know, I bought a lot of records, and I bought a lot of, like, hockey stuff, like hockey pucks and hockey sticks and jerseys and, you know, junk that I don't need. It's not doing anything but sitting in one place collecting dust. I really need to do some kind of an auction sometime and auction some of this stuff off, which would be fantastic, because if I could do that, I can get rid of all of this stuff that, you know, I don't need. And I know there's enough people out there to collect, like, hockey pucks and stuff like that it would probably sell pretty well. But we'll have to see about that. Anyway. Oh, I've been on 46 minutes. So I guess, you know, with having to make a U-turn and then, you know, go to the family arena, that's kind of what's happened. But anyway, I'm going to call it a day, and I guess we'll see you guys another time. I want to thank everybody that's subscribed to me, and if you haven't subscribed yet and you happen to be watching this video on a replay, I sure would appreciate it. Maybe if you just hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, let me know what you think of my channel and my dialogue or my dialect or whatever. It, you know, it would kind of help me you know what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. And like I said, I'm not in this for the money. I don't care about being monetized by YouTube or Facebook or anybody else. I just do this for something that I enjoy. All right, guys. Well, happy Good Friday, and hope maybe I'll do a video tomorrow or Sunday. I'm not sure. I might do one. But guys, take it easy. And if that's that one viewer that's been with me the whole time, I appreciate you hanging in there with me. If you would just hit that like button or the subscribe button if you've not subscribed as of yet, that would really help. And take it easy. Have a fantastic Easter weekend, and we'll see you again soon. All right, pieces.